Nothing about this show has run on time today, so why should we now? This is the award-winning car talk show in Wheel Time, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zeke, and I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us today. But right now, we are going to try to get back on time with our friend of friends, Mr. Jack Nerad, host of America on the Road. Jack, howdy, and I guess for us, it's welcome to California. Is that right?
Welcome to California, and howdy to you. Hello, Houston, and all parts of Texas, and love to talk to you guys.
Well, I see we have the Wrigley Field thing right over your right shoulder over there. So, okay, apparently you've got some sort of connection there at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, I grew up in Chicago, so that's Wrigley Field's one of my favorite places.
Okay, very good. And you found your way out to California. It's probably a little bit better out in California today than it is in Chicago with, below zero temperatures.
It makes me feel good about my intelligence, every February.
There is that. Well, Jack, so NACTOY, North American Car and Truck of the Year Awards announcement. Any surprises here?
Well, I don't know that there's a ton of surprises, but, some really great cars. I think maybe the most surprising of the winners is the Car of the Year, North American Car of the Year, which is the Hyundai Elantra. We had chosen some luxury cars over the last couple of years, and the Elantra is a very basic, compact car. It's a terrific car, and it's available in 3 different flavors, and I think that's one of the things that really influenced us to pick it versus the Nissan Sentra, which was another contender, was another one of the finalists.
Well, another thing, too, Jack, about the Elantra is it looks good. I mean, it's a different kind of look.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a forward-looking kind of design, which I like a lot. And when you drive it, and I drove all the variants, and of course, that's useful when you're judging something like North American Car of the Year. They all have their different personalities, but they're all good. And, it's a car you can easily recommend because Hyundai, kind of maybe under the radar, has really developed a quality reputation lately. If you look at the J.D. Power Vehicle Dependability Index kind of studies, those kinds of things, Hyundai typically scores very, very well. So I think it's just a really good choice and a really accessible choice. I mean, I like choosing a car like the Elantra versus a luxury car that's only going to sell a few units, and people are not typically going to pay attention to it.
Well, I think for me, anyway, not only does the car have to look good, run good, and have some sort of history as far as, reliability is concerned, but also, and also very important, is the cost of the car. And Hyundai and Kia both, to me, are a value. You don't feel ripped off after you buy one.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely, Don. And, sometimes those of us who test cars, and we drive cars for free all the time, we don't pay that much attention to cars. I think a lot of enthusiast riders in particular don't pay much attention to what cars cost. And I think shows like yours, shows like mine, just designed for regular people, not just for enthusiasts.
Yeah.
Look at the cost value, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, it's an attainability price for people to be able to go out and buy it. Yeah, everybody loves a Bentley Bentayga, but it's not attainable by 99% of the people.
Right. Exactly true.
Yeah. So, okay, so the Elantra, and, since you mentioned it, I got to drive a cousin, kind of, a distant cousin, at the Kia K5. Have you driven one of those yet?
I have, and Kia is kind of changing their style a little bit, and they're going sporty. And the K5 rather is a representation of that. It's actually the carry-on vehicle for the Kia Optima, which was a nice mid-size sedan, but had no sporting pretensions whatsoever. And I think just by naming it the K5, and then there is a really performance version of the K5. I think they're trying to change their whole persona.
And that's the one that I had, was the performance-minded one. That's the turbocharged 4-cylinder with over 300 horsepower. And let me tell you something, that thing will burn rubber even in second gear. I was really
not that he tried that, of course.
Oh, hell yes, I did.
It was an accident, sure.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there was no accident to it.
It was research.
I lit them up, buddy. That's how that goes.
Right, you're forced to do that. That's what we have to do. We're doing what we do.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So tell us about the truck finalists.
Well, the truck finalists, we had the Ram 1500 TRX.
Yep.
There was the Ford Heavy Duty, and then there was the F-150. And the F-150 is the North American Truck of the Year. The F-150, of course, all new for 2021, whole different generation, and a lot of variants of the vehicle. So you have this super truck, 702 horsepower, the TRX, as the other contender. A great desert runner, just an all-around terrific truck, but very narrow focused and about $80,000 base, something like that. And then you have this whole broad line of Ford trucks, and it's the most popular vehicle in the United States. And I think the variant that really impressed me the most was the upper level that had the hybrid power associated with it, because, and it's not for the fuel economy, although the fuel economy and range are great on that vehicle, but it's the fact that you have that electric motor that gives you immediate torque when you want it. So it really comes on, it's got tons of torque, and it's got tons of torque immediately on tip into the throttle. And that makes it just so great to drive. It's just a terrific.
Well, and I'll tell you, I happened to be in that vehicle this week, and coming over here this morning to the show, not only will it give you some juice when you immediately want it, it does it for a long time out on the freeway. It'll get right on up there.
Absolutely. I mean, it is a terrific, terrific vehicle, which is not to say that other variants that are not hybrid vehicles of the F-150 aren't great values. They are. I think if you buy a $35,000 or $40,000 STX, for example, you're going to get a really great truck, even though you don't get that hybrid power plant.
You know, Jack, one of the things that I wanted to mention was the fact with this hybrid Ford F-150 as the truck of the year, Ram has had a similar thing now for a couple of years. I think it's called E-Torque.
Yeah. And
it works very well. And it's a similar kind of setup, similar in the fact that it is additional to the engine. However, it doesn't work the same way as most other hybrid-type systems.
Yeah, it is a terrific system, absolutely. And, I love Ram trucks, don't get me wrong. And I think Ram 1500 was our truck of the year 2 years ago.
Yes.
When it was all new. And then last year, the Jeep Gladiator, that midsize truck, kind of specialty midsize truck from Jeep, that's kind of Wrangler truck, was our truck of the year. So, we really like the stuff that is coming out of Stellantis, I guess we need to call them now.
Right. Well, one of the things that I wanted to go a little bit further with on the F-150 is the fact that 95% of the truck is brand new to the F-150. It isn't a carryover. However, I will say that the sheet metal and even the grille look very similar to the outgoing model. And I know that they've done that on purpose because you don't want to screw with what works. And let's face it, that F-150 is a top seller all the way around.
You identified it perfectly. I think they're really conservative about the exterior design for just that reason. You guys probably remember, and it's several generations ago, it might even been in the 90s, where they kind of jazzed up the F-150. It was kind of almost Ferrari-like in its swoopiness. Mm-hmm. And the reviewers loved it. We went, wow, that's really cool, and it's way different. And F-150 buyers didn't like it at all. They really wanted to get back to, pickup truck drivers, especially full-size pickup truck buyers, are very conservative in their tastes. And it makes sense that this would be just an evolutionary change of styling, just like you identify.
Yeah. What did you think about that 12-inch screen going sideways across the top of the dash?
I liked it a lot. I think there are times when I have not been a fan of sync. Ford's infotainment systems and just what they've done. They used to be kind of clunky. I think this, if I'm getting the nomenclature right, I believe it's Sync 4.
Yes, that's correct.
Sync 4 in the F-150, which is their latest version. There's still a lot of Sync 3 out there. But I think they've they've kind of honed this to where it does a really, really good job.
Yeah, and I think that, as a matter of fact, it was Ford, if I'm not mistaken, that announced here just recently that they are signing a contract with Google to help them bring along the sync system. And I would imagine that that's probably going to go away as far as sync is concerned. They're going to come up with something new for the next generation. It's several years away, but I thought that it was...
The only problem will be is when you start screaming at somebody on the road and Alexa takes action on it.
That's it. It plows into the side of
what
them.
You're saying, right?
That's exactly right.
On the utility side of it, you guys picked the high-tech hot rod version, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely, we did. We picked the Mustang Mach-E from Ford, and what a cool vehicle that is. And the interesting thing about the Mach-E to me is not those of us who have driven electric cars know how great they are to drive. They're just so smooth and quiet and just steady application of power. No gear changing, obviously, those kinds of things. But this is also a really pretty useful utility vehicle. It has a big storage area in the front, under the hood, because it doesn't have a big engine up there. And then there's a lot of area behind the second row seats. And, of course, you can fold the second row seats to get even more area. So this is a useful SUV that is fun to drive. Really good road holding. Of course, it's heavy because it's an electric. It feels a little heavy. It doesn't feel slow, but it feels heavy. And I think you guys probably know what I'm talking about there.
Yes, of course.
So I just like that vehicle a lot, and I think Ford has really got a home run there.
And one of the things about it being heavy, though, is it's got a low center of gravity because all that weight is low in the chassis. So that really promotes a good handling vehicle, even though it's heavy. But it's got a pretty good hit at the throttle, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, you tip in and you get that immediate torque, and, we all love that. We love that feeling, right?
Absolutely.
So what else did you come up with at NACTOY this year?
Well, the other vehicles in the utility segment were the GV80 from Genesis, which is a really interesting vehicle, I think. Genesis has been out there as a luxury brand for several years now. It is essentially the luxury brand of Hyundai. But they've been tied down by the fact that they've only had sedans in a luxury market that is now virtually all SUV or crossover SUV. I mean, all the volume there, all the sales really are going to luxury SUVs. So this gets them into that game. In the first, and it's really an imposing vehicle. It's a vehicle that you're not going to miss, and you're going to take a look at it and go, when you walk by it, probably take a second look, just because it doesn't look like everything else out there. It is a very imposing vehicle with quite a bit of chrome on it, and it seems like a big luxury SUV.
Jack, are they selling this Genesis in a separate dealership from Hyundai, or is it kind of married up with Hyundais?
It's typically married up with Hyundai dealers, and that might be an issue for them. I mean, Lexus went to a great extent and spent a lot of money and got a lot of dealers across the country to spend a lot of money to set up separate showrooms when they introduced their luxury brand. And I think the luxury customer wants to be treated in a different way than, those of us like me who go into mass market brands and, buy a Chevy or something like that.
Right.
And I think over time they'll probably go that direction. But I think that this is more than a toe in the water because they've been doing this for quite a while. And the vehicles are terrific. I mean, at Genesis, I think the G70 was North American Car of the Year last year. So the vehicles are high quality and provide a lot of value, but I think they to go maybe the next step, they need to do that separate showroom like you talk about.
Yeah. Anything else?
Well, the other thing that I think is interesting is electrification and what's going on with electrification these days. I saw a recent study. In fact, I did some interviewing with the J.D. Power people about it. Regarding how people feel about their electric vehicles. And I think it's a pretty interesting study. And one of the telling things, of course, you would expect Tesla to really do well, right? To really kick bottom in a study like this, which they did. But the thing that I found the most interesting was that it wasn't the cars so much that Tesla buyers love. It's the fact that they have that supercharger system, a dedicated system to where they can charge their vehicles. And that points out that the issue still with electric cars is range and charging. And it's just not the same situation that you have with a conventional car. I'll give you a perfect example, and it's with Mustang Mach-E. I thought about taking the Mustang Mach-E to drive up to San Luis Obispo, which is about 200 miles from here, where my youngest daughter is going to college. And then I thought, well, if I did that, I would have to find some place in San Luis Obispo to recharge the car, spend considerable time doing that, and then drive back. And it's a trip that I typically make in a day. I drive up there, do some stuff with her, and then drive home. And that would screw that whole thing up, right?
Yeah.
If you had to charge for several hours, all of a sudden your timetable goes out the window as opposed to filling up with gas.
Cal Polytechnic doesn't have a supercharging station?
I don't think they do on campus. They might.
But don't want to drive up there on a mite.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want it to be occupied when I need it, for that. And again, it would take me at least an hour, I would think, to get enough charge to get me back home.
Well, that's always
absolutely
been my problem, and I'll still wave that flag. You can go right down to the 7-Eleven and fill up with gasoline, and it'll take you all of about 5 minutes. Put your credit card in, pay for it, and be on your way with a full tank of gas and probably 300 miles of driving range, as opposed to an electric, where now I've got to
plan
the trip. And then when I go ready to charge it, well, guess what? It's going to take me 3 hours to get a full charge, if then.
And then it makes it worse because Don had a car he was driving and the charging at his house didn't work. He had to go to what was it?
An
Whole
EVgo.
Foods.
Yep, Whole
EVgo,
Food, right?
To get it charged.
Yeah, and that didn't work. So, yeah, that range anxiety thing is a big deal, and I know across America.
And they don't have a vaccine for it yet.
No, that's
well,
right.
and the last one I had, they were coming to pick it up. The press fleet was coming to pick it up, and my home charger wasn't nearly going to charge it enough. So I took it over to the Nissan dealer nearby to use their charger. And I parked it next to a Tesla that was doing the same thing. It was using the Nissan charger to get his vehicle charged because there was nothing down there for that Tesla. And even then, the press fleet had to wait a couple hours to get enough charge on it for them to head out.
Yeah, I live about a mile from a Tesla supercharger area, close to an interstate here. And I can't tell you, every time I drive by there's a bunch of people sitting in their cars, on their phones doing stuff, but spending half an hour, I don't know, just sitting in the front seat of their car. And I mean, that's kind of not how I want to live my life.
Nor do I.
No.
Absolutely. Jack, it's always great to talk to you, and great insight. And congratulations in your participation once again with the North American Car and Truck of the Year Awards. And good luck. What are you driving this week, by the way?
I am driving a Mazda CX-9.
Yeah.
Ooh,
three-row.
nice.
I've always been a
SUV.
fan of Mazdas, except for their infotainment system. I think it's probably one of the worst in the business, but whatever the
Spot
case.
on.
Yeah, well, good luck
Spot
on that. That's all I can say. Jack, great to see you again. Thanks so much for taking the time. Let's talk again soon.
I look forward to it. Great to see you guys.
Thanks.
Enjoy your day.
Yep.
Thanks.
Jack Nerad, host of America on the Road.
Great interview,
All right.
always.
Let's talk about the events calendar, things coming up around town and around the country.
Well, we heard that the Mustang Club of Houston is going to have their cruise at Colina's Italian restaurant there off of I-10 and
Campbell.
And then 6 p.m. tonight is the every weekend Kima car meet and show down there, and that's always worth going to. I'm pretty sure Lisa Bridges will be going to it. She was on Facebook a little bit ago. Tomorrow morning, Coffee and Cars for a Cause in the Woodlands starts at 6:30. At 8 a.m., the Classic America Car Cruise is going to be launching off. Chrome and Coffee at Prince's Hamburger is 9 a.m. tomorrow, and that is at the Prince's Hamburger in Sharpstown Golf Course.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
And how come you're not going?
I'm going to take a little road trip, and I'll not be here.
Okay, because I know usually you go to that.
I do.
And then, of course, Sunday night, Freddy's Steak Burger at 1960 in Eldridge. Wednesday night, Freddy's Steak Burger in Katy. Friday night, Freddy's Steak Burger at Kirkendall in 2920. And Freddy's Steak Burger is a real champion of everything car-related. They really do support
I have never been to a Freddy's Steak Burger. Never been there. You?
Yeah. I go to the one on 1960 in Kirkendall. It's pretty close to the house. Or 1960 in Eldridge. It's pretty close to the house. So, it's a good place to eat. Usually when you check in for the car show, they give you a little coupon for a percentage off. So I always go for
that's cool.
I always go for the discount.
I'll have to. Is there one around here, I wonder? I don't know.
There's a Freddy's Steak Burger down 59, right around, I want to say it's around 99, that whole intersection there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know any other place that's down here with it, but they're spotted all around town.
Okay.
That's like Crab River Road around there.
And then the Houston F-Body community is going to have a meet on February 13th at Fountain Lake Drive in Stafford. Lone Star Throwdown, February 26th through the 28th at Montgomery County Fairgrounds. We're going to be there. Come out and say hi to us, please.
Did you mention Tailpipes and Tacos?
Tailpipes and Tacos is the 20th. So that's 2 weeks from now. We'll be there as well. Stop in and say hi. Stop in early, and you might be able to come on the show and talk about your car.
I'll hunt you down.
And Jeff will hunt you down. We need more Jeff.
Always need more Jeff.
And let's see, Lone Star Rod and Custom Show in Austin, Texas in April. And then the Keels and Wheels. Are we still on for Keels and Wheels?
Yeah, they haven't canceled it yet.
Yeah,
but
I heard it's
They
still.
canceled the rodeo in May. So what do you think?
I fully expect it too, but I think about it, a lot of their stuff is truly outdoors. The rodeo, a lot of it's indoors.
They're still having the judging and the horses and
There's
the
still hope.
animals.
You, sir? Have you smoked something before you came in here?
And didn't share with the rest of us?
All right, time now for some of the stories making headlines this morning. Amazon.com Inc. began testing the first lot of its Rivian Automotive Incorporated electric delivery vans in Los Angeles as it works to fulfill a pledge to meet the goals of the Paris Climate Accord 10 years early. Seattle-based e-commerce company plans to expand the program to 15 more cities, so that'll include Houston, of course. That's this year, it said in a blog post. Amazon, which is backing Rivian, along with Ford Motor Company, is buying 100,000.
That's enough to keep them in business.
Electric vans that are custom built for Amazon Prime. First vehicles were due to start making deliveries this year. Well, we've still got a long way to go before the end of the year. So,
well, they've got that Amazon distribution center up near my warehouse on Beltway 8 in Gessner. And first thing in the morning, there's 150, 200 Amazon
At the light.
gray vans coming out. Yeah.
There's one
Well, at the light and at the 4 gas stations that are on both ends of the property. And they're all out there filling up. So I guess the gas stations are about to get empty because they're going to have all EVs. The problem with it is when they all come from their day's worth of work, it's going to be a brownout in the area because it's going to hook them all up to charge.
Pull all the juice.
It's going to suck all the energy.
But they can't charge them all at the same
grid.
time.
Several million square feet of Amazon is over there off of 99, and I think south of Bel Air, maybe Belfort, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Huge facility.
Toyota Motor, Hyundai, Subaru, Kia, and Mazda posted higher U.S. sales in January behind strong crossover and SUV demand, signaling light trucks and retail business continue to fuel the market's recovery amid the pandemic. Seasonally adjusted annualized rate of sales for January tallied 16.9 million. So that's great news.
February 1st, did you watch the reveal? I do this one for Jeff. Did you watch the reveal of the Cadillac V-Series Blackwing?
I did not.
I did not either.
So Cadillac has announced their Blackwing series of CT5 and CT4 vehicles. So it's a V-Series Blackwing. And I know you've driven both of the V-Series Caddies, the CT5 and the CT4. Now with the Blackwing, the CT5, the bigger of the two, is going to have the supercharged 6.2-liter, 668 horsepower V8 in it that was in the previous CTS, and the CT4 is going to have the 420 horsepower twin turbo V6 that you drove that was in the CT5. So, and they're both going to be offered with a millennial theft deterrent system.
With a stick shift.
6-speed manual.
You got to just put a manual gearbox in it.
Six-speed.
I like that.
Yeah, 6-speed manuals are going to be offered in both of them.
Well, I have a millennial, and she always has driven stick shift. So
she's smarter than the rest of them. But
Well, I always taught all of mine. I got a granddaughter that just started driving, got her license. She's I don't really have a manual gearbox to teach her on right now. But
Go buy one.
Go out and buy an old one with a 3-speed on the column.
No.
Really confuse
yeah,
her.
Kate, where can you find that? Good luck.
Exactly.
In a true old beater. But I think it's pretty interesting as GM is announcing they're going all EV. They come out with two absolutely screaming hot rods because they say that the CT5 with the supercharged V8 is a 200-mile-an-hour car.
But if you read the fine print, it's not all EV. Predominantly is where they're headed now.
Predominantly, yeah.
It is what it is. It's still
GM has lost so much capital they had to change their logo.
Yeah.
They don't use capital letters anymore.
Boom. That's where we need the sound effects.
Quick break now. In-wheel time continues right after these messages. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, February 20th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone's invited. You will see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, February 20th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In-Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, February 20th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy, weather permitting. Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild to wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com.